8 o'clock. It's Monday morning, 9 o'clock, Bangkok, Thailand. It's already hot out there. The weather is good. The sun is shining. The sky is blue. Time to work for this, guys. Good conditions for a good 7, 8, 9, 10 hour grind here, I guess. Yesterday evening, Sunday, we had a small session together, guys, where we implemented this emergency login rescue method. That means if we log in with our emergency password, we create a fake withdrawal of around 98% of our balance. And we need to do things here to create a withdrawal. Created that. We need to fix that time. And especially we need to create tests. Alright. This is the most important thing here right now. So let's do that here quick. Let's say we have an account balance. This is what we actually would like to test. And we say the context is rescue. Alright. And first, no rescue if. And then what else we need to test? Amount. And we need to just create ledger withdrawal. We need to test create wallet withdrawal. We need to test same reference. We need to test that the balance is gone. And we need to test created add. Let me quickly check if the stream is actually working, because sometimes, I'm just streaming and it's not working, and I'm streaming for half an hour till I realize this. I guess it looks good. Welcome, guys. Hello to everybody who's watching. All right. So those are the tests that we actually would like to see here, and we need to set up here a few things. We need to have a user, as usual. So it's a user, and we can use our factory bot, who's creating us these users. Oops. So it's always handy to use factory bots. Don't use fixtures. Fixtures are the ones from Rails provided. Use a factory bot. Factory bot, that's really powerful. So what else we need? We need the user actually to have balance. All right, the user needs to have Bitcoin and Monero. So let's actually just say, we say just something like this: user balances of Bitcoin at 5. And we give it 10. It's always easier. So you get 100, not 10, 100 Bitcoin, and he gets 100 Litecoin, 100 Monero, and 100 Ethereum. That looks good to me now. All right. And now we can actually say something like no, we say 0 Ethereum. No Ethereum. At 0, so no Ethereum. So we also check only works on crypto balances. All right, the first thing we do is we need to create assets. Wait, factory asset. Let's quickly create those here. So we have XMR. It's called Monero. And say something like this. And actually, this is fiat false. Okay, we can keep it this way. Okay, that looks good to me. So we have Bitcoin and Monero. So we can say let Bitcoin, and then we create this here Bitcoin. Oh, that's missing a T. And we say here actually Monero, or do we call it XMR? It's Monero, is it? Yeah. So we can then here say Monero. Okay, this is good, I guess. So that means Bitcoin, Litecoin we don't need to test Litecoin. So the user has 100 Bitcoin and the user has 100 Monero. Something. Okay. What else do we need to... I guess this is all we need to set up here to get this thing running. This sounds like that's it. So only works if crypto balances. Good. This goes to the end actually. Okay, we need to we need to we need to create ledger withdrawal, same reference. This is actually what we can do. So we say it saves 98% of the balance due. And now if we call user balances and we say actually account balances, this is actually the way we call this. Wait, if I say account balances and I give them a var, I want to do this. Yeah, I want to implement it that way. That's dirty, but I want to do this actually. App models user. So we can overwrite this and say... No, we can say actually account balance. I guess. Account balance. Let's quickly do this. Def account balance. And we say name. And we say account balances. Find by. And the asset. The asset is then his name. There you go. Okay, so we can say user account balance. User account balance of Bitcoin rescue. That's what we actually want to call. And we expect user balances of BTC available. Yeah, available will be equal. So we got only 2% left, so that means 2 Bitcoin. You guys agree? And reserved, so equal to 0. And balance is equaling to the same. Now let's quickly run this and see if there's something big wrong here. So we need to reset the test database here quick, which is not working. Factory already registered Bitcoin. Well, what will we do here? Factory assets. We need to call this also the Monero factory. There we go. Alright, now we can call RSpec, and the file is in spec models account balance spec helper, and it's line 22. We don't need to specify line 22 now, but it's always good practice to... Okay, it's working. So that's the first test, and well, it seems to be good. So it creates ledger withdrawal, and what we expect here is that if we say expect, and now we call a block, and this is where we call this method, and we say to change, and now we give it another block, and we say ledger entry count by 1. So this is how we can say that one ledger withdrawal is created physically in the database, and then we continue to make a test with it. Let's quickly run this 29. And this is happening. So what we can do now is that we say the entry is ledger entry last, and we expect the entry amount to equal 98, because we had 100 and we take 98% off, so we this should be a worth of 98. Let's go. And it's working. Okay, we also need to check that there is this the wallet withdrawal done. I can show you guys the wallet withdrawal, just a second. I mean, we built this yesterday together, so we know it's working. Yet, so we are logged in. Let's quickly call this here in the console. User first balance BTC, and we say rescue on this. There we go. And instead of 25, we just have like 2 point something left. Oh no, 0.5 obviously. And if we go into the wallet and we check the Bitcoin wallet, there's also actually a real withdrawal created. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Yet if we we need to run tests on this. So We can say the same here. It creates a wallet withdrawal. And we say here then the wallet withdrawal count by 1. And we say here obviously wallet withdrawal less. And the amount, it's this one. So we can run some tests on this, and there you go. What we expect, the entry amount should be 98. We expect the state to equal confirmed. We expect the fee to equal Bitcoin withdrawal fee. Bitcoin is the asset instance. And withdrawal amount. Oh. Yeah, okay. We expect the withdrawal amount to equal 98 minus the fee. Because right now this is nil. This is, of course, wrong. I guess that's good. And we expect the withdrawal address ID to be -1. That looks good to me. Let's run this test here, and this will fail because this line actually of code is not implemented yet. 35. Let's see what happens. 35. Booyah. Undefined method withdrawal. I don't know where this is coming from. Account balance 145. Account balance spec 14. Account balance spec 14 and 45. Oh! Sorry. This is what happens when you have a syntax error in the file. Okay, expected. Exactly, this is the line that we expected to fail, and it seems to work yet. So we need to quickly go into here the creation. And say the amount. Oh, that's the ledger withdrawal, sorry. That was working. We going in here. Here we set the fee, we set the asset, and we set the withdrawal address. I guess all we have to do, we don't even need to set the fee. All we need the amount. And I guess all this we don't need as well. We just call emergency true. Asset and amount. This is actually all we need. Okay. And this stuff here, we just create in a filter in a before action. So we go on wallet withdrawals. Okay, after create, do analyze emergency. Can we do here before create? If emergency. Before create, we call this set emergency variables if emergency. This is how we do this. And we make it a private. Okay, what we need here, we need self withdrawal address ID to be -1. We need a self state to be confirmed. We need TX ID, something like, let's get a real Bitcoin transaction ID. Something like this. And we say our state we have. Okay. Now we can say self-confirmed to be true. And we say self-confirmed at. And this is what we really have to work on, because I know this is not right, and there will be another test that this proves it to be not the code we need. Right, let's run this quick. Because the withdrawal amount is still failing. There we go. Entry fee. So also the fee is the asset withdrawal fee. Okay. Then actually we can call methods for this. Set fee and set withdrawal amount. Yes, set fee and set withdrawal amount. Alright, so we can call just set withdrawal amount and set fee. Let's go. So it seems like withdrawal amount isn't working, so let's call this self on it. What? I can't call a private method here? Why not? I call bullshit on that. Interesting. State machines we don't need here. Why is this not working? Set emergency variable. Okay, we should code all this. Set emergency variables. Whatever. So withdrawal amount is then the amount minus the asset withdrawal fee. And the fee is the asset withdrawal fee. Okay, this should give us then something as expected. And it's green. Okay, okie dokie. The confirmed at is not good. That needs to be redefined here a little bit, but it's okay for now. Let's go with more chess. It's creating wallet withdrawal. We got this. And it has correct references. So we can say this is the rescue. And this is the wallet. And this is the ledger. And we expect wallet reference. No, sorry, ledger lab reference. Ledger reference to equal wallet identifier. That's so that they are both correctly with each other associated. That is line 45. I got this. Same balance is gone. We have that already. Don't need that. The created at only works on crypto balances. All right, let's go. So let's create an euro here, EUR, and give the user a few euros. Well, let's have a 50 euro. And only works for crypto balances. And now we can call and we expect the user balances of ERA. We can copy paste this here quick because it's always just changing here EUR to equal still 50, 0 and 50. And that should be good. 57. There's something wrong here. Something broken, Tim. Monday morning. Pay attention, buddy. Missing and. Well, we just removed this. Gosh, Timmy. Stupid. Yeah, it's working. Let's call this. Yet, good. What we also expect is works on the created ad. It has a created ad from the past. And this is now the tricky part where we have to think a little bit. So the idea is that if we now log in, I mean, last time we logged in is a long time ago. If we log in now, and there are these withdrawals created right now, then everybody knows, oh, this is fake. So we want to create them in the past, okay? So what we do here is what we're doing here. We need to Count balances, there we go. So what we have to do here is create it at okay, make this here a little bit bigger for you guys so you can better look. Alright, that should look good. Okay, so the idea is we can give both the created at and here we say created at plus 1 minute, something like this. So we need to find point in pass at random amount of time. So let's start. How do we find something in the past that the user did? We need to find something like the last login time. How do we get that? I know how we do this. Account balance. Okay, we don't have an account balance here available. Okay. I guess user first attributes. Let's see what he still have. So he have, what do we have here? We have confirmed it. We need something like last log in. I call this a to-do. We call this a to-do, guys, right? Because we don't have the tracking of the user now, or yet. We call this here created at is 10 minutes ago. Okay, this is just dummy, and this will be, we have to do this in the future when we have more data, because we need to find an entry point where we have logged in the past, and then we just simulate that this was actually then our login. Let's call the whole RSpec suite quick and see if there's no code breaking anything. Let's read these tests meanwhile. So this is the to-do test. And besides that, we need to test that this is correctly executed. But if we call the execution, we have to go actually to the user and say this is a user's back. And we have here something already with emergency, I guess. Emergency password, no. Emergency. Oh, sorry. Somehow we test this stuff already. Meanwhile, all tests pass. That's good. We can go in the wallet. No, where is this? A feature spec? I guess then lockdown spec. Context methods to lock down a user. This is where we go login spec. Confirmed user. Okay, this is the clear bare login. Emergency password. This is not what we would like to do. Wait, there's a method called emergency. Just a second, I tell you this method quickly. Flag emergency. Emergency actions. This is what we want to test actually. This is what we really want to test. So the password rules back. Okay, great. So here we have to say it will save 98% of the balance. Do. And we called these, let's quickly close here a few things, those that we don't need. We called this rescue balance. Okay. And we say user, we copy pasta. There we go. We say rescue balance true. We call emergency actions and we expect the user to receive rescue balances once actually, and this is how it's working. Okay, so if we go into the user, this is actually the method we would like to see. So it's the account balance spec. There we go, emergency root spec. So let's run this now. I mean, this is working because we tested this all together yesterday, but we say this is security and then it's emergency password root spec. And it's passing. That's good. That's a good sign. It's always good if it's passing. So if this is active, so we need to actually always test the opposite. So we say context rescue balance, and actually this will, it will call to rescue balances, and here we say it will not. This is false. To not receive. Okay, so I always test the opposite, guys. If you test a certain outcome, it's very important you also test that the opposite outcome is not happening, okay? That looks good. If we call code coverage, that is horrible. So we need to run rspec again and check our code coverage, because we aim for 100%. Not that we have to do 100%, but we're aiming for. So then we always know if there is some code that is unused, if there is some code that we don't use anymore, or you know, it's always good to have a very, very high code coverage, especially for a project this size and this importance. Okay, that's the big part here. There we go. And now let's run Firefox here on the code coverage and have a look. The user can disable two-factor. Rescue balances is not called. Interesting. I thought we just called this. I mean, we call this line. I know. Emergency spec. I know why this is actually... Well, this is fine. This is fine. I mean, we call this, but we don't have any account balance. So this is really fine. I guess we can live with this now. So the order, let's see what happens here. Type and price, that is unused, that is okay. But now here, withdrawal address, this gets a little bit... Okay, to label, those are methods in the view, which are actually used, but we don't have tests for the views now, that's okay. The ledger entry, that looks ugly. Referenced object. This is also all for the view. We have the same in the view, that is great. And I guess this looks good. We can live with these. 96% is okay for us. There we go, 96%. We can also run rake stats, but this is giving us something different a little bit. So we have quite a lot of codes for not so much models. That's actually pretty good. We have almost 50% line of codes for tests for the models. That's actually a lot. So we keep it up that way. Always keep good tests, guys. Did we test everything here now in this context? Is there something we have been missing, guys? I don't know. I guess this is good. Let's see what we do here. It's the rescue method. It's the account balances. Okay, that's good. Before we commit this, there's one thing. If we go emergency, oh wait, view emergency. No, where's the view for this? Views, internal settings. See? We need to set up the emergency password, guys. To do password confirmation. There you go. Let's work on this now. Let's work on the actual view and the controller to set up these emergency password thing. I feel we waited long enough for doing this, so it's time. It's time to do it. Yeah, let's quickly make this here git commit and say save balances if emergency rule is active, because this is what it is. Let's quickly have a look for Rails password jam. Okay, this is pretty nice, but this is also pretty nice. I want something like this in the future. Interesting. This looks very, very interesting, actually. Let me start this. This looks very, very interesting here. We might use this in the future, but alright, so for now we actually have to go then for the we have the emergency password and we have the emergency password confirmation. Okay. And what we really want to do is then if emergency password is the same as emergency password confirmation. Okay. And we still need validations, but we do this now. I mean, we need validations for check the length and the complexity there, but okay, we make this if emergency password length is greater than 5. Oh, 6, okay. There we go. So we say we can actually say something like def valid emergency password. Do we have this already? Okay, pass. I don't understand this code. Okay, if this is a valid emergency password, so we say actually password now. So we say password length is greater than 5 and not password. Okay, this is then the if valid emergency password, so then we say emergency password. Oh, this is bullshit code. This is bullshit code, guys, because if we have it like this, that means we need to first set the emergency password confirmation and then the emergency password. This sounds absolute bullshit to me. Let's quickly go and say Rails has password. Secure, right? What is this? This is what we want, guys. Has secure password. That looks good. On GitHub, is this working? It is. Options, validations. Shit. Fuck. I don't want to call it. I mean, we call this the field emergency password, so I guess. Yeah, I mean, let's read what they do here. They do. That's what we actually want to do. Shit. I guess we can just fork this. I guess we fork this, guys, and instead of password, we call it options, and then don't have it here with password, but instead say password digest. What is password digest? Quickly looking. Where's password digest coming from? User password digest. Interesting. It requires us to have a password digest attribute. Oh, this is also wrong. Why? Okay, so good. Let's monkey patch Ruby on Rails framework. Let's make an issue here, quick. And reference this line. Is this actually master? It should be master, because let's see what 6 is doing. Oh, there was a change here. Oh, ugh. Min cost. They added the min cost. See, guys? Hey! It's already doing it. Oh, great. So... Oh, good luck. We checked the masters. I really wanted to put this actually in. I really wanted to do this by ourselves right now. So we can say attribute. So we define the attribute, which is really good. That's really good. Okay, if this is master, I wonder if this is in 5, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's not. Oh, shit. Oh, no. So Rails 6 can handle this, and unfortunately, close other tabs to the right. Unfortunately, 523 can't do it. Oh no. So we really have to git diff this. Max password length. Min cost. Okay, let's see if we can implement this by ourselves very quick. Class methods. Okay, has secure password options. Attribute validations true. You don't have bcrypt and stuff. I guess. I really guess. Define method attribute. This is define. We have bcrypt. Authentic. Authenticate password sounds wrong. If attribute is password, what? Okay. alias method authenticate password if attribute is password. Ah, okay, that's just the alias method. So, but the problem is here that user first authenticate is already in here. That method exists. I wonder. Authenticate. Okay. Let's actually go then and take this. And it's, oof. Let's go and make it in Rails initializer. It's pretty nasty, I guess. Config initializer. Rails, okay, I'll call this Rails. Rails monkey patches. And throw that in. So we can say has secure password. Password digest, recover. No, recovery password digest we don't need. Okay, password digest. Alright, let's try this, guys. So we go to the user. This emergency stuff goes away. It goes away. We don't need it anymore. Let's see. Okay, this is gone. The emergency password stuff, flag emergency. This we don't need as well. Emergency, it looks good to me. Great. Awesome. I don't think we need bcrypt here, but what we need is has secure password, and we say actually then emergency password. And we call validations false just for testing purposes. And we need to create users. And emergency password active hash. This is actually. So how is this called? This is called emergency password digest. Yeah. So it's a recovery password digest. Okay. There we go. And this actually should be all. Let's quickly do this. Dude. This doesn't look good. What happens here? Ugly. Ooh, this sounds really ugly, guys. Instant method activation is not a class. Is that? What is this? Instance methods on activation, new. It's here. So we don't. We can just check this block throw this away and throw this block in here. What? I don't know why this should... Oh, def has secure password. Shit. Yeah, well, you include this. Interesting. Unknown attribute emergency password for user. Where I get this from? Seeds. Yeah, well, we don't do this now here. Quick emergency password. No emergency password. All right. But it should have worked actually. It should have worked. Based on the idea. It should have worked. Let's read actually. So we call just has secure password and we call it then the user has secure password emergency password. Okay, that is... Okay, I mean, yeah, well, apparently. So this seems to not work. Require bcrypt. Let's actually do the... Because I want this to throw an exception. Okay, it does. It does throw an exception. So we actually end up here, which is quite good. Def initialize. No. This is not where we can end up. Define method? No. This we don't need, guys. Nope. There we go. If validations. Maybe. This is what we need. C. Oh. Validation's true. Ooh. Let's quickly see confirmations. Validates confirmation of. Well, okay, and actually then let's call in validations true. Alright, again, so we call this, say A is user first, and we say A, can we actually authenticate emergency password, help. And what did we set it? It was like test. Oh, that's sweet. So that's working actually, that's cool. So but let's actually say now A is emergency password is fail. Can we save this? We can, okay. Now the emergency password is fail123 and the confirmation is 1234. Can we save this? Okay, that's pretty neat, guys. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. But, 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 but. We need to check. Dev emergency password. What we really need to check here is actually dev emergency password. Yes, well. And or it's getting tricky. Just a second. I'm thinking out loud. How we do this? We don't want this to be. So we make it a validation, I guess. We call validates unique emergency password if Rails validate if attribute changed. Okay, we call in this unique emergency password. That's fine. And we go here, dev unique emergency password. And I guess we can call something, it's called if emergency password changed. And this Rails changed actually this behavior, how this was working, I guess this is now how it's working. Okay. And then we here can say if validate password. How was this called though? Oh, we don't have this anymore. We just removed this. Okay, quick look them. Quick look, we called this. There we go. Valid password. So if valid password and we say emergency password, then actually we can say self errors add and call emergency password and call invalid on it. This might flag it then as the invalid thing. So let's quickly check this here. This is not working. What we got? You need to supply at least one validation. Oh well, of course, buddy. Of course. But where? Where do you want me to do this? Validate. There we go. That's what we validate. We don't validate it. So, user first. And we say, hey, emergency password. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we call valid. Emergency password changed. I guess the digest changed. I guess. We reload this and say, hey, this is A, this is my password, and we call A valid. Ha! Valid password 125678. That's that's not my password. What is my password? Let's quickly look. Oh, sorry, that's my password. My password is complex. Okay, I'll see. That's my password. So emergency password is the same, and we call A valid. Ah! Ooh! Ooh, very bad. Really? Oh man. Well, that's pretty bad now. You can't use the Rails API on the model for seeing if we change this field or not. I did expect a little bit different. Those are my changes. Oh, it seems like my changes are not possible here. That's pretty bad. I mean, if we actually say, hey, password is blah, can we call changes? We can. Encrypted password changed from there to there. I expected the same with the emergency password digest. I really expected the same. So expect emergency password. User emergency password. So instance variable set. Okay, it's an instance variable. That doesn't make any sense. Attribute reader attribute. Isn't this attribute accessor? Because we read the password only. Okay, this is why Rails is not knowing this. Makes sense. Cost. Okay, self-send. Okay, this is where we actually write then the digest. Okay. Interesting question, guys. It seems like if we call attribute digest change here, that this will not hack into the changes. So let's actually call for emergency password digest. Upsala. And call for changes. Okay. The digest changed. There is no doubt about it. Let's run this again. That seems to be fishy. Okay, that's my password. That's my user, sorry. Where's my user? There we go. Okay, we have the emergency digest here. $2.10. And now we say a emergency password is, this is changing for sure. And there are no changes. So let's call this with Neil. I wonder, because he actually... What? This is emergency password. Wow. Wow. Okay, so, wow. Are we even ending up here, guys? Do we end up here? Wow, this is stupid. Do we even end up here, guys? Binding pry. This is stupid as hell. Let's run this. You the first. Password. There you go. We don't end up there. That's the issue. Hey, wrong method. Rails, what are you doing with me? Why? Has secure password, buddy. Shit. Why you do this with me? Oh man. Active model, secure password. I can't overwrite this, really? That's really bad. Okay, I know how we do this. I really know how we do this, I guess. So we call this... we just make it our own concern now. This is really bad. We go models. We can go this in lib and say has secure password. Okay. And that's all we need to do. So I guess this might work. So the monkey patch is gone. Has secure password is on. And here we call it binding pry. Actually, we can call it maybe here, whatever here, just to see if this is loading. Spring stop. And let's see. Nope. He's still complaining. Given to expected 01. Wow, that's interesting. Has secure password. So what we can do here is we include active model secure password. Secure password. Now how we call this? Module. Let's give this a quick name. We just include has secure password. Okay, we call this has secure password. And And what we then do is, I guess, if we call this has secure password, we go to the user and just include this. That's all we do. Include has secure password. And just a second, I need to give somebody my wife's phone number. There we go. It has secure password, so we include this, which is completely overriding the active model version. I guess this could work. This is a chance to work. What do you guys think? Is this looking good to you guys? In theory, my brain is telling me this is working. But in theory, I expected the console to load up yet already. What is going on? Oh my goodness! Spring, stop! Stop this spring! Goodness, goodness. Is there something Rails? Is there something console? Is there some Spring Server? This we gonna kill. Spring app? Nah, go away, buddy. Okay, now is there something left with Rails? Oh yeah, that's it. Good. Now let's try this again. Rails C. Oh, awesome! It's loading. It's loading. It is loading. How good is this? That's really good. I'm happy now. We get close here. So we take the binding out. And I assume this might work. Guys. We say A is user first. We say a emergency password is and we cause changes. Doesn't work. Fuck me. Interesting. I really want to go in here. Binding pry. It's really interesting, guys. So we run this again, and we end. Wow. Do we even end up here? In this initialize method. Init instant methods on activation. Because we ended up here. Oh wow. Has secure password is included. Class methods. Instance methods. I guess why actually is this. Let's do it this way. Included do. I mean that's the same working. Included do. So what we can do is included do. No. Class. Tim is doing shit here. No. Init. Okay, let's run this quick. I mean, we end up here, guys. Attribute is emergency password. Hey, this looks good. But for me, it's a bummer that we don't end up here. Very weird. Very weird, guys. Very weird. It's a very interesting bug here. Sorry, as user first. Ha! Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What is going on here? Oh! Oh, guys, do you see it? Ah! Oh, this can't work. Oh, shit. We override this method that we just... Oh, fuck. Okay, so the bug, let me quickly explain to these guys that are not so familiar with Ruby on Rails. So we built this gem, has secure password, and this is defining a method, emergency password and setter. Okay, this is the setting method. But in our user, we write our own setter method that does nothing. So we overwrote this method. Shit. So there's no wonder it's not working. Oh, fuck. So now the emergency password is this, and we can call for changes, hopefully. Ah! Emergency password digest changed. Oh man, Tim, come on. Well, I'm glad we talked about it. Okay. So I can call emergency password for this, and now I can call valid, and this. Sorry. This should not be true. Let's quickly have a look here. So it should actually not, I repeat, not be true, because this is our password. Let's try this. And okay, this is actually valid. Yes. And now let's say the password to this. So the emergency password is the same password as the user has. And if we call it valid now, this should be wrong. So let's see if this changed. This is true. And see if this is a better password. So if we have emergency password now, there we go. Oh, this is false. Oh, we probably changed the password already in the meantime. Okay, let's run the seeds quick again. Maybe we change the password with all our testing here. It might be might be a thing. We can delete meanwhile this initializer here. We don't need this monkey patch anymore. We make our own plugin here. Unique emergency password. Yes. Okay. Let's. Oh, interesting. Very, very interesting. What is going on here? So it seems like this is killing our... What? Oh, sorry. So we have to call for if emergency present, and there you go. I guess this is fixing it. No, it's not. Let's skip this here quick, because there seems to be some issue with the creation of user accounts. No, still. Very interesting. 240 balances, 219 seats, 46. Well, we need to fix this. So it's about here. User 2. Okay, so user 2 isn't created. I guess. If we call validations here, we call validations false. I guess that's the issue here right now, that he's looking for the validations on creation. Yeah. Okay, that is bad. We need to call this on update for sure. There we go. If validate length of validate on update. Okay. And validate length of attribute. I don't like that, but okay, this we don't need. And this we actually need to throw into our model. So we can say this is going out. Is there anything else with validations? I don't think so. There we go. So we don't need validations anymore. Good. And validations false. And our to-do is actually that we call validations, but only if the emergency password is present and set. Okay, that is the important thing here right now. At least I guess so. Okay, so what's that to do? So in the user we can go back and activate our unique emergency password check and rerun the seeds here, and now we can actually play with it and say, hey, Rails C, and call A as user first, and then let's call this though and say valid. Ah, that's bad. That should not be something like I thought this is the password. What is the password? Really? Okay, so this is a valid password actually. So one password 1 2 3 4 5 6. Guys, you see this? There's a 4 at the end, so this can't work. Oh shit. There you go. Errors. Okay, this is working. I'll say it's invalid. Okay, great. And then the user these validations validate length of emergency password. Let's call it this, and we say on update actually if emergency password. Can we do this? Okay. So we just make this method No, we don't actually need the question mark. It's working this way. Should work. So we say user first is A. A is user first. And we say A emergency password is nil. Okay. We call save. Awesome. And now we say emergency password is 1, 2, 3. And we say save. Oh, this is bad. It should check minimum. Oh, maximum. We don't need a maximum. We need, I mean, we can make 72 maybe, but we need to validate length of and say minimum 5, maximum 72. Now this makes more sense. So that's the user first, and we say now this is my password, and we say valid. And errors is too short. Minimum 5 characters. Okay, that's great. That's great, guys. That's what we expect here. That's really good. That's looking well. Okay, so the validation seems to be good, and if we call this, we say valid is false. That's pretty good. Yeah, that is probably what we wanted. So we get rid of all this stuff, and all we do is calling this plugin here, which is actually the Rails code. We just changed it to what we needed it for. I just want to make something like these validations. Actually, then, I mean, people can then call validate false and write their own validations. So the bug that we encountered is that these validations didn't work for us, but you can just deactivate them if validations. So you just say validations false. We need this validation as well. Validates confirmation. Also, validates confirmations of emergency password. Allow blank to. So we can say, hey, I guess this is how this validates confirmation is working. So let's run the seeds quick and see if this is still working or if this is breaking our application. That's great. Update emergency password spec. Login spec. Okay, user spec. Can't use the same password. Expect user. No. Okay, these methods will fail. So we can say can set an emergency password to, and what we expect them is to authenticate emergency password. So we say user authenticate emergency password of help me to equal user to equal nil. So that's the method we need to call. Don't help me to equal nil. Okay, can't use the same password as the regular one. Great. User expect user to not be valid, because we just actually make this with validation. So we can then also say expect the user errors. So we test the user errors here, because the validation, we actually added a nice error message that it's invalid. So we say the errors of emergency password to be something to actually equal, and the equalization should be then here in an array as a string is invalid. Is invalid, I guess so. So 51 we need to test in the user spec, so we need to recreate the test database quick, because we changed the database field. And if you change database, always recreate them for the tests. And our spec models user test. Is it user spec actually? And we set line 51. And let's see if this is actually a passing test or a failing test. It's failing. Expected nil, got false. And I guess this is then returning false. Authenticate emergency password is returning false. Let's quickly look. Authenticate emergency password. Attribute, new attribute and self. Quickly look. Decrypt password new attribute digest is password and unencrypted password. I don't understand this method. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Oh, I thought we could call this on user, but okay, so we call this authenticate. No. We call this valid. Valid emergency password. There we go. So this is what we want. So now we can go into our test. User spec, and actually to equal true and to equal false. And it's actually then not here anymore, it's valid. Valid emergency password. I like that. That looks good to me. 51. Let's run this test again, guys. And it's green. Let's run the 57 test quickly. And that is green as well. All right, that's looking good right now for emergency password. It can't use the same password as the regular one. Let's see actually what happens now. It can unset the emergency password. It can unset the emergency password. User update emergency password is this, and we make it back to nil. So like blank, I guess. What actually happens then? Let's have a look. So emergency password should be nil. Well, this is pretty bad now, guys. It seems that if we call this, it's are there errors? There are no errors. So I wonder if we call emergency password with nil, it's still okay. We use a reload. Oh, he's not changing that. That is very bad. So emergency password nil. User emergency password is this. That looks buggy to me, guys. That that looks unexpected now. Okay, so if we set it to nil, okay, we also need to set this to nil, definitely. Because it does make sense. Else, if it's not empty, okay, but okay, we do this the following. If it's nil or empty, this is the way you go. So if the password is nil or empty, then we actually clear it and set it to empty. That makes sense a little bit. So user emergency password is actually the nil. That's okay. And user emergency password digest is also nil. That's what we expected. So that is looking okay to me. The user spec. So we expect user reload, and we expect the user emergency password to be nil, and the emergency password digest, I guess. Okay, that looks good now to me. Let's run the whole user spec quick. Oh, we didn't run that. We didn't save the test. That's pretty bad. Okay, so this is working now. This is good looking for us guys. What we need to test here is that it can authenticate. Actually, it can set an emergency password, and here we check to call the valid method. Yeah, okay, that looks okay to me. Yeah, okay. I wonder. I wonder now if we go into strategies. I wonder now if we need to call here resource emergency password active. That's what we really need to call, because otherwise, think about this, if we don't call for this, and this is critical. So now the user, he did not set up his emergency password, so it's nil. Well, this is checking for nil, so we better call for emergency password active, right? And then we don't want this as a database field. Emergency password active. I don't even know if we use this somewhere. No, not yet. So now it's time to use this. So then again, let me explain this quick. The issue is that if, where's my strategy? Okay, so if the emergency password is not set, is nil, and this will actually then, if we give him a nil password, a blank password, this will trigger true. So all we need is just the ODP, not a password anymore. Very bad. So let's better be safe than sorry. And the user gets a method, and we call here def active, and this returns if emergency digest present. Only then it's active, I guess. That looks good to me. So let's write a test for this quick. User spec, it can set an emergency password, and we expect the user emergency password active to be true. And here it's false because we can't set it, and here it's also false because we unset it. Alright, let's run these. We need to recreate the database quick. Every time when you change fields, recreate the database, guys. And then let's run this. Got true, expected false. Interesting. Interesting, guys. This is line 62. So we are talking about here. We expected this to be false. I did. Alright, let me do the following. Well, he can't save it. I guess this is redundant. I mean, we call for active, but Okay, I know what we do. For security reasons. Now, actually, this doesn't make sense, but we can say in our user model, in this validation for the emergency password, and then actually here we say self emergency password digest is nil. Okay. Just for future security issues. Now it's fake. Now it's working actually. User spec. Okay, so this is false, false, true. Now I'm happy with this, and we can run the whole Aspect suite quick. And let's have a look in our feature tests. Spec features, and we have the login spec, and here we have something where we say emergency. Okay, emergency password is help me 1234. Is it that way? Probably. And we want to log in with this password, and this should work. It works. Great. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's run this in our seeds and test this by ourselves quick. Seed RB and the user. We quickly say emergency password is help me 1234. That's always a nice password. And run the seeds again, and we test this by ourselves in the browser quickly, so we can figure out if this is really working or not. So let's run the server. We started with Rails S, and we would like to log in. This is test. This is our regular password. We say help me 1234, and it's working. That's great. It's great, guys. It's great. It's good. Now I have a question. I really have a question. Because let's try this quick. I'm interested. I'm curious. Let's remove this quick. I guess this is still giving me false. I assume it's giving me false. So if I give him 0 password, what happens? I'm not logged in. User sign, user password filtered. Well, apparently it's nil. Interesting. Very, very interesting, actually. I really am scared that this might have probably been worked. Let's see, actually, why this is not working. I mean, why? Let's try. Let's try logging without a password, and we don't even end up here. Okay. Okay, without a password we don't end up here. Yet I still feel more confident with that. Okay, so it's just what it is. Okay, and now we log in as a regular. That's great. That's good. Oh, I guess we can commit this code. Let's quickly on Firefox here. Code coverage. Has secure password. We don't use everything here, but this is okay for me. I don't care. I don't care. Actually, this has secure password. We can. Yeah, we don't need this because we know it's working. Okay, what else is going missing here? That's all. Instance variable set attribute confirmation. Yeah, well, we gonna make this now. I mean, we work on this now that we have to that we can actually set the password with the confirmation. So that this will be green after the next test. So we use this. I guess we can commit this here quick. Let's have a quick look. We implemented a secure password. We give him validations, minimum 5, maximum 72. And we need a confirmation of it. And what else do we need? We need that it has our own validation here. It can't be the current password. We changed the database fields. We actually call that the emergency password is active, which I feel very good now. And we changed database, we changed seeds, and we wrote the tests, which they just passed, and that looks good. So we can say git commit, and we say refactored emergency password used Rails has secure password implementation, and edited it and changed it. Good. So the next task will be that if we are actually logged in, right here we go to whatever, something here, and say change the emergency password. And let's see actually if we have a route for this. Emergency password, we don't have this yet. Where do we want to change this? Guys, do you have any idea where we want to change this? I mean, we have emergency rules. Okay. Create emergency rules. There we go. Create emergency password rules. This is the rules that we have. You also want to click them on and off. So then here under the security password, we should have resource emergency password. And this is only a show, I guess. And let's see what kind of controller we get for this. Reg routes grep emergency. We get nothing. Why is this actually giving me? Oh, only as of course it's a hash. We have to write it correctly. Okay, we get the internal security emergency password path. This is where we show a form where we can call, let's see, where we can call show update
update. Alright, that looks good to me. So we can call for the update as well. I like that idea. Can we make the console one step smaller with the font size, guys? I think 12 is okay. I mean, I make everything bigger here already. Oh, it's still so big, man. It's still not fitting here. It's still not fitting. So what we have to do is we need to make this bigger. Ha! I'm a hacker. Okay, I can live with this. If you guys can look good now. Do you? It looks good on stream to me. Alright. Good. So this is our actually an. Hi Jax05. Thank you for telling me. I remember in the past I had small issues that the like people say they can't read this, so I actually changed the size of my whole window here like these. I'm programming in a virtual machine, what you probably can't see yet, but I changed this whole sizing here, so it's looking better it's smaller for me now. I have less space, but it's good for you guys. So let's go here in these main, how is this called, site menu, I guess, site menu, there we go, and give him, again, this is just dummy. If you're a new viewer, this is just a dummy layout. This is not what we use for production. We have a designer who's very, very expensive, who is working right now on this, and it takes a few weeks. And let's go here, emergency password. So if we click on emergency password, this is throwing an error because there's no controller yet. Let's create this controller quick. And it is in internal security, and we called it the emergency password controller. And of course it's an RB file. Tim. It's emergency password. Why is this passwords? This is always the issue with Rails. Singular routing. Resource. I wonder. What happens if we do it this way? This is interesting. See, now we get the same controller with passwords, even though if we make it singular. This is, sometimes I don't understand this, but okay. It is what it is. So we call this passwords, and this is our class. And it comes from the internal base controller. And we need a dev show. There we go. And now we need missing a template, which is very easy to create. We go in the views, internal, make a new folder, emergency passwords, and call it new Haml. Alright, and make it a headline, say emergency password. Oh, sorry, it's not the new, it's the show, of course. The show method. No, it is, even though I show this, it's not open source in a way that you can actually play with it. You can watch me doing this. You can click on the videos. I have probably 30 hours already streamed how I'm working on this. I probably spent a total of 50 hours, 60 hours already yet. But I don't know if we will open source this. I don't think so. Yeah, well, enjoy going through them. If you ask like how we do certain things, let's just ask me a specific question and I'm happy to show it to you. Yeah, I think we will not open source it because it's hell of a work. I'm happy with streaming them. The videos are here for 2 weeks. You can save them. That's okay, but yeah, we will. I don't think there's a benefit of open sourcing it. Like, I don't want that everybody is just able to run Coinbase with just setting up a virtual machine and get cloned and say here's the next Coinbase. So no, I won't do that. And at one point in the future, I definitely have to stop streaming when we go to refactoring and reviewing code for, I guess, security reasons. But yeah, I have to discuss this in the future. Right now you can watch me, and you can watch me probably the next 2 or 3 weeks. So there will be a lot of more hours to be streamed. Emergency pass. Oh, is this a security namespace? Security, there we go. So security emergency passwords show. There we go. Emergency password. And what we want to do now is we need a form. We need a form where we can activate it. But let's first quickly say here's a card. And here's a card body. And here we say current user emergency password settings. Wait, how is this called? I forgot about it already. Emergency password rules, I guess. There we go. Emergency rules. There we go. So we say current user emergency rules inspect, so we can have a look what's happening here. So we can decide for block withdrawal, silent lockdown, cancel orders, and rescue balance. That's good. Okay. So we want to make a form where we can explicitly set these active or not. So let's do this. We have the update method here, so it is actually simple form 4. And then the object is the current user emergency rules. And we give him an F. And we need to give him a path anyways, but the path is here. This is the route actually. So it's the same route like the get, but we send it with a put. So he can route it to this correct method. So we say the URL is this path, please. And this should work. This is not, oh, sorry. This is working. It should work. Did we mess up the routes? Oh, it's the, okay. The path is singular. So it's the emergency password path. All right, that's good. So this is our form. And then let's make something like is F submit, and we call it block withdrawals and silent lockdown. And what simple form, this is just an extension actually, this is just a gem. What it does, it finds the data type of these attributes, and then he know, oh, it's a Boolean, and then he automatically makes it something that you're gonna see in a minute. All right, and he makes it automatically. Oh, I can't, sorry, it's of course not a submit, it's an input. There you go, sorry. And there we go. It makes it automatically check boxes. And what we want to do now. Oh, you're using ERB. I guess I stopped using ERB on the first day of my Rails career, which is 10 years ago. I really encourage you do not use ERB because Haml is so much easier. I mean, look, this is it, man. And the Haml is the ERB way is you make the H2 emergency password and you close the H2. And now you say div class is card, right? And we need to close the div. And now you say div class is card body. And we need to close the div. And here you say now, I guess this simple form blah. And then here you say this is f input. I mean, I can quickly explain you Haml, but basically with you always start an element with the % sign. So this is your tag basically, h2, h1, or you say a div, okay, or you say a span. If you give something a class, you can always give, or an attribute. Cloud, you lower the gain in your mic. What do you mean? Is my gain too high? Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I didn't check this. Let me, oh my goodness. No. Normally it's, I just see this. Oh shit. Filters, gain. I hope it's, no, it's not better. Shit. Limiter. Okay, is it better now? Now I have the Rode NT1. Hey, but is this all the time like this? Oh my goodness. Hey, my stream's working great and really great sound, except now. It's harder to hear now, well, I guess. Oh, so sorry guys. Thank you for telling me. I really appreciate that. I listen to myself right now. It's horrible. So, how does this sound? Is this better? No, it's not. Oh man, Ruby is deaf. Well, apparently my microphone is deaf. This is really bad right now. Shit. Well, in 30 minutes we make lunch break and then I can figure this out, I guess. I'm in Thailand. I'm from Germany, actually. I'm really sorry for this microphone. Thank you guys for telling me. Well, I don't know, expert life. I'm married though. I have a beautiful wife and so I'm not traveling the world and calling myself a digital nomad. Jax, you can still hear me right now? It's okay? I promise in about 30 minutes I make lunch break and then I fix this. My wife is Asian. Okay. All right, so Hamel. So let's quickly. So you make an element and you give him an attribute, something like this, right? Or you say data of click is do something, right? So this then actually makes the data click thing, and you can give him a class, and you can give him or many classes. Why is okay, you give them ID, something like this, right? But if you give them IDs, you can always go for the hashtag and say my ID. And if you give them classes, you can always go for class 1, class 2, or BTN thick, BTN danger, right? Or you go in combos and say, hey, this is span text danger with the ID secret text. Okay, so this is how Hamel is working. Well, over Python, I don't want to argue, but over Node.js, a lot. We are type strong. Like, I'm not sure, but this isn't this. Okay. So in Ruby. So, and we have Rails. Actually, Rails is the reason why we do this, because Rails is so old, Rails is so major. Man, I'm really sorry for the sound, guys. So yeah, Ruby on Rails is very major. We are now like 12 years old, 15 years old. So Ruby on Rails is very secure and I'm very efficient with it. I can write things very, very quick. So Jax, you understand Hamel now. You can also, instead of Hamel, you can say Slim. There's another thing called Slim. And I'm gonna show you this quick. Okay, Slim Gem. You might use Slim. Really? I searched for Slim Gem and those are like recommended photos. That's crazy. So Slim is a little bit different. This is what Slim looks like. So maybe you're interested in that, but I stick with Hamel. I like Hamel. And if you would like to convert your templates, you go HTML to HTML Hamel. There we go. So you go to this HTML to Hamel and you paste your ERB code, and he is giving you then actually, I have some ERB stuff. Oh, wait, ERB. Here. So there you have this, the device default template, and you just click convert and you get it down in Hamel. Yay! Okay, so don't be confused, you don't need this. You're welcome. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we want this form here. Let's continue. We want a second form where we actually can update or create the password. So we say card body, and this is set up your emergency password. All right. And this actually we only want to show if the emergency password is active. So we say if current user emergency password active. So because it might be active yet, it's still showing. And here we say let's quickly deactivate this. So oops. Now it should not show anymore. Alright, set it up. So we want to create it now. So what we need is we need 2 text fields. We need a form actually. but let's give this form, and what we say, this is the object is the current user, and we say f input of emergency password and the input of the confirmation and a submit. There we go. So now we can set it up, and if we click what we expect now, that's a good question. We make here a member do, and we say post update password. There we go. Actually, that's a little bit stupid. This should be emergency password. This should be emergency rules. Well, we keep it like this right now, but this is still dummy. The whole routing is still dummy, so I don't want to mess too much with it. And it's this this path. So we go here and say, hey, take my path. This is my path. We go into the controller, which we have here, and say def update password. Okay, at the end we want to redirect to where we want to redirect to this path here, to this index page. Alright, let's click this, and then nothing happens. Nothing happens except that there is no patch. So we can call it a patch. Alright, so now we can click it and nothing happens actually, which is a good thing. But what we want to happen is that we want update password. No, actually will. It should be called change password. Well, never mind. We say if current user update emergency password and the confirmation. So we can say if current user update password params, and we make this here a private def password params, and we say params of user require permit emergency password, and we permit the emergency password confirmation. Okay. This is so ugly, guys. Don't again, this is just dummy. This is just for clicky, for make it fast, click together, so we can show this to people that we know. This is yeah, again, this is just dummy stuff. This is nothing serious. So we say alert notice emergency password was changed. And if not, we say alert error emergency password still unchanged. There you go. And it's oops, it's flash. There we go, it's unchanged. So let's set it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it should be active. As you can see, it was changed, and now we can actually do this. However, we Well, this is the else block. Alright, this makes sense. And now if we want to update these rules, we actually have to type in the emergency password. So there needs to be another field called emergency password as password. There we go. And this is failing because okay, it's not failing. Interesting. Good. So now if I want to update these, nothing should happen right now. Def update, and we call here something like those params are actually called, here we get them. Oh, no template. And there you go. They are called security emergency password rule. What? Looks wrong to me. Looks wrong to me. I'm doing something wrong here right now. I guess this whole thing is totally messed up the way I thought we do this. This is not looking good anymore. And my microphone sounds like shit. I have to fix that. Params. I wonder. How is this called here? Security emergency password rule. Okay, we need to refactor this immediately. This is stupid, and this is stupid the way I did it. So this is resource emergency rules period. Only shown update. There we go. That's the way we want to do it. This is better. This is correct. So emergency rules, there we go. This is the get and the patch, and this is working fine. So internal security emergency rules controller. This is the emergency rules controller. There we go. And this we don't need yet anymore. This goes out. This we can use later in life. And then the template is emergency rules. There you go. Upsala. And it is. That looks better. And then we call this emergency rules. And of course, this is the emergency. Oh, in the navigation, this is still the wrong path. No, it's the right path. Okay. Well, this is okay for me now. So we can now call this and get something failing. I wonder. Interesting. So let's call these resources. Now it's getting different. Yes, this is the path we want, I guess. Is it? So what we have here, we have security emergency password rule. Okay. And we permit all 4 of those, or 5. We permit this. We permit the silent lockdown. We permit the cancel orders. And we permit the rescue balance. Okay, let's actually erase, update, params, inspect here quick, and let's see what happens. Oh. Because there's emergency password inside, it's filtered. Okay, I get it. Now I get it. Okay. So the params are all the time there. It's just filtered because of the Rails lock filter setup. Okay, so we can go on with something and say actually, current user, and then emergency rules update with password. That's what we actually want. And then we also need to give him the emergency password. There we go. And now we need to implement this update with password method, but we call him update params. If current user, so if we can update this, and we yes, so we also say if current user emergency password active. There we go. So that is number 1. And then we redirect to, what is this? Internal security emergency rules path. We read, okay, and we make a flash notice, and we say rules updated successfully, and otherwise we say flash error. Rules are not updated. There we go. And of course this is not working yet, so we have to implement this. Emergency rule. And we say def update with password, and we call this args. And we say password is actually args delete emergency password. So what this is doing, it's taking the password out of this hash, and now we can say if current user valid emergency password, and we call for password, and then actually we can call we can call update with args. Else we can say self errors at emergency password invalid, and we an attribute assessor for emergency password. There we go. I guess this sounds good to me. It's user, not current user. Stupid Tim. Belongs to user. Good. I get food delivery quick. I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. Yeah, guys, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. Alright, sorry guys, I'm back. Really sorry. I got my food delivery here and I had to pay him off, so yeah. Now we got food. And cheers, guys. So we expect here nothing to happen now. So we return false. Let's see. Good. What is actually our emergency password? That's a good question. So we just say emergency password is help me. There we go. And let's try to do this with help me. And that's working. So now we can't deactivate it. Nothing actually happens. The question is, I wonder... Oh, it's alert. Flash alert, sorry. So, and we update this and nothing happens. We get rules are not updated. Now we say help me. And there we go. So that's really nice. Guys, I'm gonna stop this stream quick. And I will try to fix this microphone issue. So I see you guys in 20 minutes, all right? See you.